Hello, John. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Simon. All right. So we are, I think we have most of the people I was watching coming in from Prolifics, but if someone from Prolifics can confirm that we have everyone we need, I would appreciate it. And we can get started.
Do we have Robert?
Robert hasn't been here with these.
Ooh, okay. Probably watching recordings. Really just
That could easily be, yes. They are already uploaded. So, yeah.
okay. And who kind of represents the Prolific side during the demo usually?
Yeah, actually, he's not here yet. He's coming. Let's wait just a little bit.
So, John, let's wait for a couple of minutes and we can start it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Deepal.
Yeah. Yes, thanks.
All right. So, Simon, just to catch you up a little bit, we didn't really have a chance, but I know you talked with Christian, and he's been attending most of these. We did everything prerequisite-wise, so obviously all the parts of being able to understand how to get the software, work with all our communication methods, etc. And then, of course, installation. We imported an example from Informatica and then analyzed that using the Analyze tab and lineage analysis. We went through all those capabilities. So no need to introduce as you go all the different features. What we haven't seen is the export tab and IGC, of course. And so that's where we're starting up.
Fantastic. And we're definitely going to start with a test. We're going to verify that everybody understands everything completely about
Excellent.
the import tab, about the installation.
Yeah. Yeah, we need pop quizzes, apparently.
By the way, raise your hand who is familiar with IGC.
Or actually, maybe the reverse question would be easier.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe a representative of Prolifics,
I think most people, in Prolifics probably, and for this training, are familiar with IGC. I was just thinking we can ask the question in reverse. Who is not comfortable with IGC? Or is there anyone? Wow, see, that's what I thought.
Definitely sounds. Okay, it means I'm not going to spend too much time explaining what does IGC do.
Yep.
And what should kind of ideally happen, we will go through kind of IGC story today. We've been talking about MIB during the first couple of sessions. Today is going to be primarily about the export bridge, what type of metadata it can export, how does it look in IGC. I know we have another session, and it would be great if somebody tries everything kind of we've been talking about today, we will be talking about today, and get back to us with great, questions.
Yep.
Okay, let me prep up a bit and
Here, let me start the. So please do. And Deepal, do you know if Mike's coming?
I haven't received any intimation or acknowledgement, but we can start it for now. Meanwhile, I'll get in touch with him on Skype.
Okay, thanks. So let me know when you're ready, Simon, and I will start recording.
Okay. I guess I would need to share my screen, yes, or
Yes.
you would like to kind of go
No,
through
please
it?
go ahead. I just was showing the agenda, so no big deal.
Okay, John, let me know if you see my screen right now.
I see your screen. I see the Prolifics metadata bridge.
Excellent. And we have a document to review very quickly. Okay. Okay, I'm guessing I can just go ahead and start.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start the recording now.
Okay, welcome.
And it's recording. Sorry.
Hey, welcome everybody to the third session of Prolifics training. Today we will be talking about export part of MIMB story, where we're gonna take a variety of metadata sources, DI metadata like ETL from Informatica, for example, SQL script, metadata BTAC, database metadata, some nice stored procedures, even DDL, and push it to IGC. And this is a value that we're adding to the kind of IGC metadata story. And our goal at the end kind of to see a beautiful lineage kind of in a beautiful tool. Okay, something like that. Kind of to start off, we are in IGC. We can get into, oops, what the hell is this? Some kind of interesting, and we will be primarily talking about two types of information assets, kind of databases, physical, what they call implemented data resources. This is where you have a host, you have a schema, you have a table. And another set of assets will be kind of data integration assets. They will be empty for right now because we have not populated anything yet. But this is where you will find eventually DI, SQL script generated assets. Assets coming from, by virtue of importing from relational databases like Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, will go under usual place, kind of what they call implemented data resources. And again, probably John already explained all this to you, but kind of our database bridges can import not only database structure, but they can import transformations like SQL scripts, store procedures. And this is where kind of we, again, adding value to what's already possible in IGC. And maybe it makes sense to kind of walk through the story step by step. This is kind of a design spec where we kind of discuss use cases. Use case of DI tools like ETL, ELT, it's very simple, it's straightforward. And again, let me know kind of, if I am kind of preaching to convert it. IBM supports only IGC out of the box. IGC supports only IBM data stage out of the box. Customers would like to see metadata from third parties, Talent, Microsoft SSIS, even BODI, Informatica. And this is a kind of a major point of integration. Data transformation metadata can come from SQL scripts, like in BTAC, you can define your transformation logic between kind of a staging area and a data warehouse, and if customers kind of build their data integration logic using HiveQL or BTAC scripts, they can bring it into IBM IGC using MIMB technology, and we will show you examples of that today. Sometimes metadata transformations can be in a database. They can be in SQL scripts, and they can be in SQL views. And we need to mention here that IBM has connectors to import this metadata. These connectors are kind of native data stage connectors. The primary goal is for them to have kind of integrated solution with data stage. And they concerned with a lot of things, but not all of them. They are not concerned with lineage through stored procedures. They're not even concerned with parsing SQL views, understanding where they're coming from very well. They have kind of very basic parsing capabilities. And if you have kind of any in-depth SQL, especially SQL, which is database specific, you will not get column level lineage from used to their sources. And this is why people prefer to use our bridges in this case, because you have choices, and if your customers are interested to understand transformation logic through the database, through stored procedures and SQL of views, okay, we strongly recommend them to employ our database bridges. There are two types of kind of database bridges. You can import Teradata using kind of JDBC, if you wish, means using APIs. This is probably the simplest, easiest way. But another way is to use DDL, because at the same time, as you know, that every database has kind of a notion of a data definition language, whatever, and you can actually create a database using DDL, and a lot of DBAs use DDL kind of to define database structure. And in case your customers do not have access to the database, it means maybe some kind of administration or security constraints, but DBAs wouldn't mind kind of generating DDL. It's not a problem. We can import DDL. We can import database structure from the DDL, and DDL can have all these glorious details about view definitions and even stored procedures. And it could be even things like Oracle packages. It's not a problem. Okay, just to recap, in case of kind of prolifics, we're dealing with 4 types of metadata sources. Okay, and the bridge that you will be kind of looking at in a second right here, and now I'm kind of, you've been spending time with the import and analyze section of MIMB. Now we're looking at the export part. Export tab presents this bridge under name IBM Infosphere, kind of a like IGC Information Governance Catalog, OpenIGC. OpenIGC is kind of the very important part. This is exactly the interface that we're using to communicate to IGC. It's a REST API. But you will see in a second, kind of not everything can be brought in using REST API. It means we go kind of beyond that. This is pretty advanced technology. REST APIs has been designed to patch holes in lineage to define primarily transformations that IGC cannot get kind of natively. if you want to get kind of a database structure, you need to use something else, what they call IS tool, information server tool. This is a tool that is used for kind of a backup restore, if you wish, import, export. And don't forget the WIA technology that kind of is behind it, even in IGC. And we've been able to get kind of, we're monkey in the middle. We know how to use this tool to repopulate something and customize it. And we're going to show you all this magic kind of today. Now, you can ask me, okay, I'm in front of a customer, they have nothing, how can I demo the tool? Okay, the great news here that the customization package that you're using, okay, remember probably John was giving you a demo of something that you need to install on top of standard MIB installation. And it has a bunch of directories like configuration, and configuration has resources with these beautiful icons. Okay. In addition, there is a documentation that probably John talked about as well. Another thing that very important is this directory IGC demo. Okay. It's a very simplistic place, and we're going to be spending a lot of time today walking you through it, because this is your way to play with the technology easily, test it, and even demonstrate what it's capable of to the end users. How does it work? There is a batch file, okay, and the batch file is pretty simplistic. Let me open it up. Okay. And I think actually the picture will say it's 1,000 words. Let me go back to the document if you wouldn't mind. Because I would like to actually show you example and then maybe go through theory, to spell out, a bunch of things. Imagine we have an architecture when there is a data warehouse, okay? And there is there are a bunch of tables that people analyze. There is a staging area, okay? And there is some kind of ODS with application logic and kind of a data extract, maybe that happens. And again, this is a demo technology. It's not about kind of perfecting or even doing something realistic. We're trying, but still, the key is to demonstrate all capabilities, all kind of corners of the bridge. And what does bridge do? It deals with ETL, and we will be using example of a file-based ETL. We picked up open source, not open source, Microsoft SSIS, because it's easily available. You don't need to have a license. Theoretically, you can download it, easily. If you need to play with it. We can represent each database, ODS database and data warehouse database, using scripts. Okay, like DDL scripts. You don't need to have real databases anywhere. Okay. And again, we would like to show you how this database technology is different from IBM native database technology. We have ability to define store procedures and even some views. And now I hope you kind of sensing that we have all possibilities, kind of illustrated by this sample. You have ability to import databases. Okay, data warehouse will be a DDL, ODS will be DDL. You will have a kind of ETL script to move data between them. You will have a SQL script, okay, to move data between staging area and a warehouse. And while you kind of defining database, you will see some views and store procedures that will move data as well. Okay. And the beauty is that, again, you don't need any databases. You can easily reproduce it using this demo that we put together for you. Okay. Now, let me kind of show you again. Okay, this is kind of my installation, and I have this IGC demo directory. And what I have here is kind of the script that we're talking about. And I will open it up right now. And you remember the architecture we just discussed? We have a source, ODS database. We have a target, which is data warehouse database. We have ETL between them. And we have SQL, okay, that moves data from staging area to the data warehouse, okay? And we employ bridges, okay, to import this metadata and export bridge, okay, to move it out, okay? And again, it's a very important feature of MIMB. MIMB can run not only from a UI, but sometimes your customers would like to schedule execution, and you can schedule it by running a MIMB command from the console, from the command line. Okay, now what do you need to configure? Primarily you need to say where's your IGC is, and it's not kind of any different. Okay, this is a bridge, yeah. Okay, maybe we will walk through kind of capabilities of the bridge. You need to say where the server is located using its URL, okay. This is straightforward configuration. You need to have a user and password, and what's important that the user needs to have rights, okay, to access OpenIGC API, okay, and to run ISTool. Okay, one user to do both. Okay, the passwords for the user, it's encrypted. It's never being exposed. It's kind of everything seems to be hunky-dory. In case you're using ISTool, okay, you need to tell us where, like, IBM client software is installed. Because you need to run, as John probably already explained, MIMB on a machine where IBM is installed. It doesn't have to be a server, it can be a client, but we're spelling out here exactly our expectations, what libraries should be available, what executable like CLI of the ISTool should be available. Okay, this is how you can verify that the customer actually installed. Basically, if I go to this directory, okay, I need to find the subdirectories underneath. By the way, feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions. Because you guys probably experts in IGC, and maybe you had some experience with ISTool. Feel free to kind of raise any issues that you see, any concerns. Again, you only need this information. You need to specify this information. It's not a mandatory. The stuff in red is mandatory. Stuff with asterisks is mandatory. You need to specify some of these details, like, for example, this directory. When you're importing kind of data structure, like a database information. When you import mapping only, like Informatica, it's not important. We can get away with just using REST API. Okay, I hope your job would be to go through documentation here and kind of get familiar with things, nitty-gritty details. Now, imagine you importing different things, and this different thing has to kind of work together, And sometimes your customers will provide you a database representation from their test environment, maybe ETL from their production environment, and you need to put this Humpty Dumpty together. And to do that would require you, what we call kind of stitching, sometimes resolving connections. You can try to resolve connections using IBM technology, but we actually allow you to do it automatically. This bridge has an option kind of for you to customize, host name, even schema name, to kind of make it appropriate for your architecture that you're putting together in IGC, okay? Because at the end of the day, you can import from test, but maybe the rest comes from production and you decide to model everything as a production. This is why you can kind of change, let's say, host name of the database. You can even change the database name and schema name if they call differently kind of between environments. You have a way to customize where we're gonna store ETL kind of projects. If you import, let's say, a script and you would like to host it under some kind of a special name, you can do it. Bottom line, if you do not provide, again, it's not mandatory parameters. If you don't do it, we're gonna get this information from the source metadata. And finally, connections. This is a way kind of to do kind of deep customization. Let's say this is a way kind of to, if you wish, kind of to rename, kind of interpret connections. For example, we can name, internally a connection can be called using kind of IP address, who knows what, and we can rename it into something else, okay, that will allow IBM to automatically, stitch things together, okay. Again, we're gonna kind of do it all using an example of this bridge. Just one second, please. Okay. What I'm gonna do right now, actually, you and I will customize this a bit. I already specified the address of the server where we are, username, password. This is a location of the server or remotely. But let's kind of have fun. What do you want to call this host? Prolifics. Any ideas? Any? Okay, I guess you're agreeing with me. Prolifics is fine. What else I'm gonna customize? You need to watch out here. Remember, we went, this directory is empty. If we go to implemented data sources, we don't have prolifics here, so far so good. Now we are kind of customizing it a bit. Your customer can do it as well. It's kind of what's important for you. Kind of, I hope you kind of getting a sense of what I am describing. There is a portion kind of import bridge, and there is a portion of export bridge. Okay, export bridge has parameters like user password, where things are installed, host, database, schema. Okay, so far so good, and we can change them. Okay, this is because I'm talking to kind of technical people right now. I hope I can kind of get to the level of script, and this is a batch file. It can be obviously turned into like Unix shell script, easily. Okay, any questions about what I'm discussing so far? Okay.
Be sure to unmute yourself if you had questions. Sometimes people start asking and no one's hearing it.
Oh yeah, it happens to me.
Me too. But I don't see anyone coming off of mute, so I guess we'll go on.
Yes, or you can use a chat, by the way, maybe to ask questions, it will pop up.
Absolutely, I'll watch it. Yep.
Thank you, John. Okay, what if we just go ahead and run it, and we're gonna create this beautiful architecture, automatically, hopefully, okay? It means we're running this script, okay, it's in this directory, okay? We change the host, we've been, okay, for example, for SQL script, we created something called script stage warehouse SQL. I can say underscore SQL, doesn't matter, and I can say even here underscore DTSX. Okay, so far so good. Okay, then we're gonna clear it, and we're gonna say, let's see, go. At this point, the script runs, the bridge is being executed. As you can see, we imported ODS metadata. Now we're exporting it to IGC. Okay, we connected to IGC. We said how we want to call host, how we want to call our database. Now we're doing the same for data warehouse. We're using this DDL script, and you can open this DDL script and take a look later. Then we picked up DTSX. It's a definition of the ETL. It's moving on. Now we're actually using REST API to push the metadata into IGC. The next step would be a script. Okay, now we've read the script. The scripts happen to be some kind of because Teradata database, doesn't matter. It could have been, you can do whatever you want, And believe it or not, we've done and there are no errors. Wow. Okay. Means it works out of the box, But it would be even better if it produced something useful, Okay, now we're gonna update. Okay, we're gonna refresh. And I expect to see Prolifix demo IGC. Wow, it did appear. And there are two databases under, okay? And they have some kind of a structure. Wow, this is exciting stuff. Now let's take a look at our ETL section. Ooh, we have two things. Oops, I guess, just one sec, maybe I see. I didn't rename them properly. Here's an interesting story. I'm glad I kind of caught it, here. Let's take a look quickly at the bridge. The bridge has been updated to have these names, mappings, like we have a host system name, we have a mapping system name, but the old nomenclature, okay, let me take this actual name, okay, and in the script, you know, the developer actually had the old name, okay, not a problem, okay, we're gonna update this right now, okay, and I can change the script to just execute, re-execute. And this is very important because what your customers will do, they will not only import once, but when database changes, when SQL changes, when ETL changes, they would like to re-import, and it has to kind of work well, okay? This is why I'm gonna run this script again, okay? Because I will kind of show you what's, you see, we created something using kind of native identification of the tool, okay? This is how ETL from Microsoft, you know, been calling the project. This is where it's a root directory of the script, you know, where the data movement is, okay? We could leave it like that if you wish, but we can rename them, you know, okay? And, okay, it means you remember what we had here, yeah? I can, if you wish, kind of delete them. Yeah. And now let's do the magic. Okay, now we have proper names, mapping system name and mapping system name. Okay. And we're gonna run it, and it's not gonna take much. Now we import. And again, we should have kind of looked at the log, because log probably give us an error that it was unknown parameter name, but I missed it. Okay, now, okay, believe it or not, we're done. Okay, let's go back here, you know, refresh. Oh, we have our proper names. Ooh, beautiful. Because we in full control, okay? Because it's important, you know, you need to have something manageable, something that you can identify, especially all this long, you know, directory names could be annoying, okay? Now there is plenty of flexibility in this technology. Now, let's kind of do the honors of looking at the lineage. Remember the architecture that we've been kind of putting together. It starts at ODS, okay, and actually I have a detailed picture here, yeah. Start with ODS, you know, and we kind of move data using store procedure into extract, then we do some kind of transformation, it goes into staging, and the script moves into data warehouse. Okay, now let's very quickly take a look at the SQL, Microsoft ETL technology. Okay, there's some kind of there are readers. This is how they're represented. Then there is aggregate, step or stage, transformation. There is a sort, and there is a ability to write. This is an unusual kind of use case. We're writing the two things in parallel, but it's not necessary. And if you remember, kind of in IGC, transformation kind of things are yellow, and we should see a picture like resembling something like that. At least, let's go and cross our fingers, and hopefully we're gonna see something like that. Because if I come here, and I will say, show me lineage, boom, boom, boom. Oopsie daisy. Everyone, okay. Okay. Depending on the table that I'm selecting, I will obviously see different lineage. You know, if I will take sales order, for example. Okay. Now let's take a close look at what's going on here. Okay. What we have some kind of a source table. Okay, in maybe in the ERP application, whatever, in ODS system, and this is our extract, and it's done using store procedure. Okay. And kind of unfortunately, IBM IGC, it does not kind of do justice to transformations that happen inside of databases. You know, that's not what it's designed for. You know, it's primarily focusing on things that are outside, you know, kind of ETL scripts. And this stuff is in yellow, you know, and it's kind of spelled out explicitly. And eventually this information goes into our data. And data warehouse have a staging area, and this is a table in the staging area. And there is a view, okay, which reads kind of, which is mapped to kind of